So the program that was funded was our STARS program, which stands for Standing Together and Receiving Support. It's our children's virtual support group for children that have lost a loved one, so a loved one that has died. It's ages 6 to 12, and it's done completely on Zoom. Okay. It's an 8-week program. So we're approaching this program twofold. We're approaching it from the sense of personal loss, so the death of a loved one that the child has experienced personally, but we're also recognizing that levels of anxiety and depression are really rising with kids because of the pandemic. They are dealing with so much. They're little people and they're dealing with really big people issues. So we're really trying to work not just on their personal loss, but really give them life skills that they can carry on into other aspects as well. The pandemic really is traumatic and grief-inducing for them. So we're really trying to round out what their toolbox looks like. There's really been a lack of community support for children in our area. We are one of the only programs targeted to children. So we're really trying to encourage healthier children that we know encourages stronger families, get them more engaged in learning and school, and also be really inclusive. We provide all of the materials to the kids. Their parents don't need to provide anything. So we want to really level the playing field if there's any marginalized populations that need support. We had to pivot very quickly to being totally virtual. I think that that's common for a lot of every organization, but we've really tried to carry on with that. We noticed that virtual support was a bit of a hole in our program offerings. So we've tried to fill that out. And when we were able to meet in person for those few lovely months, we were doing hybrid meetings because we recognized that people weren't comfortable to come in. So we're trying to do both and juggle that. I have learned that community services are so vital. There's populations that can't access supports and resources for whatever reason, their location, their cost prohibitive. We are a very large town geographically, and our volunteers and programs like the virtual ones that we're running might be the only support that people are getting. I've also learned the importance of connection. People have been so isolated and so distanced from each other that having the ability to do Zoom meetings, especially with kids, really helps them remember that we are a community and that this is an important time to come together. I think, expert is such a big word. Really just any support that we can give people to help manage their anxiety, manage their grief. People are having grief, even kids I'm having come in that had grief 3-4 years ago. And it's really coming up for them now because when everything is closed and there's a real lack of distraction, it's really coming up for them now that they have these big emotions and don't know what to deal with it. And it's causing anxiety. You're seeing rising, drug abuse and alcohol addiction in younger and younger kids. So we're really trying to kind of get in on the ground floor with them and give them alternative routes they can deal with these things. Perfect. We looked at numbers. We had quite a big drop in our bereavement program at the beginning of the pandemic. The palliative side of our organization actually had quite an increase because people wanted to die at home, but our bereavement program dropped off a fair amount because, dying at home is an option, but bereavement is not an option, but bereavement support is. So we've really seen the numbers increase. Our last STARS program, we had 5 participants, and the one that we're starting at the end of the month, we're looking at about 12. Okay. For our participants, it means that they have a safe space. They have a place they can come, they can bring their grief, and they won't be made fun of. They're not going to be the weird kid because there's a group of kids that have that around them. But we also know that parents are desperate for support for their children, and they're dealing with their own stuff too. So we really try and focus on education for the parents. We send home letters every single week with what we're doing, why we're doing it, and some additional resources. And then we are always available if they have questions.